guise of his nom de guerre, the Reverend ex-slave. That was his disguise. He was in a Santa Claus suit in April 2002. And Dr. Blake will appreciate this because we had our ASCAT conference down here in South Carolina. That was around the same time this Negro was up to his hijinks. Eddie donned a black Santa Claus suit, carried a ladder bearing the names of black rights organizers to the South Carolina State House, set it up next to the flagpole, climbed to the top of the flagpole, cut down the Confederate flag, shouted, "This is for the children," and lit it on fire as state police heckled him from below and tried to douse him with pepper spray. Apparently the study of physics and Newton's law of gravity are not requirements at the Police Academy in Columbia, and the cops were duly surprised when the pepper spray failed to incapacitate the Reverend slave and instead blew back into the eyes of the police officers. The officers later filed injury claims. That was 2002. Cornelius Eddy not only got that flag, he cut it down and burned it. And every day for years, according to all our friends in Columbia, South Carolina, Cornelius Eddy, also known as Reverend ex-slave, would stand on the road outside the State House with his ladder, waiting for the police and a gap, and he would get over there and try to get at that flag. He finally got it. If this is the first time you've heard that story, you understand the power of media to shape memory. And Bree Newsome is a hero. She's following in the footsteps of Cornelius Eddy, who actually went to jail for that. He passed away a few years ago. My point is in terms of silences, narrative choices. You start with Charleston, but anybody remember what happened in the wake of Charleston as it related to that flag? By the way, that's why they put a police cruiser in front of the flag and had a gate around it. So what Bree did was even more impressive in many ways because she had to evade all the police after Cornelius Eddy. But you remember what happened in the wake of that? Nikki Haley was the governor. See?
She was forced
to take it down. Did anybody watch the debate over taking that flag down? It's on C-SPAN right now. They covered it. It went deep into the wee hours of the morning. In terms of a curriculum supplement, in terms of a silence, in terms of something to add to this conversation, in terms of current events, I would suggest watch it, get a few minutes of that, see these black women and men in the State House. Because what did we hear them say? Can't imagine that happening today. The South Carolina State House is full of black women and men. And Mother Emanuel is part of the story. But those heroes battling it out on the floor of the South Carolina legislature till 4 o'clock in the morning before they took their vote, they're walking the earth today. And with all due respect to Robert Small's grandson, for me, the best story of Robert Smalls and the planter, another silence. It's not just when he and the women and men who were with him stole the ship for the Confederates, but when they would not make him the captain. Does anybody know that story? Yes. What did he do then? Tell them. I know y'all reenact. Somebody, because remember, they took the planter back into battle, and the white captain behind enemy lines wanted to do what to the Confederates? Surrender. Robert Smalls locked him in a closet, and they steamed that planter back a second time from behind enemy lines. Lerone Bennett begins Black Power USA with the constitutional conventions in South Carolina. So you see Robert Smalls as a legislator, but the best book on Robert Smalls is probably written by a dude who still comes to work on this campus, even though he's been retired many years ago, the great Andrew Billingsley, who wrote a whole book on Robert Smalls and his family, because last